Alright, let's start with the question, why do some families feel like they're everywhere in entertainment? Like, one member's a soap icon, another's a writer, another's a director, and suddenly, you realize they've been shaping your TV addiction for decades. Today, we're unpacking the story of Jean Lodge, the Shaughnessy family legacy, and what her life and her family's careers reveal about the strange, symbiotic relationship between art and bloodlines. Here's the surface-level news. Michael Damian's dropping new music on The Young and the Restless, which is a classic example of soaps blurring reality and fiction. But the real story? The passing of Jean Lodge, a 99-year-old British actress whose career spanned films like The Black Knight and White Corridors. Her sons, Charles and David Shaughnessy, are big names in soaps, Charles as an actor, Shane Donovan on Days of Our Lives, David as a director. Their mom's death isn't just a family moment, it's a window into how legacies work in showbiz. Let's dissect Jean Lodge first. She started acting in the 1940s, a time when women in Hollywood were often stuck playing wives or damsels. But she kept working through the 50s and 60s, a period when the industry was shifting. What does that tell us? She wasn't just riding trends, she was adapting. Her roles in films like Final Appointment and Invasion weren't blockbusters, but they were part of a system that kept mid-tier movies alive. To me, that's fascinating. She represents the unsung grinders of old Hollywood, the ones who kept the machine running so stars could shine. Now, the Shaughnessy brothers. Charles has been on Days of Our Lives for decades, popping in and out like a soap opera ninja. David's directing soaps, which means he's managing the chaos behind the scenes. Their dad, Alfred Shaughnessy, created Upstairs, Downstairs, a show that basically invented the modern period drama template. So here's a family that's been in the storytelling business across 3 generations. But here's what people miss, legacy isn't just about talent, it's about access. When your parents are in the industry, you grow up knowing the language, the players, the unspoken rules. Is that fair? Maybe not. But it's a reality that shapes who gets to shape our stories. Amy Shaughnessy's Facebook tribute, though, that's where it gets human. She describes her grandmother as complicated, passionate, and a silly matriarch who loved gardening and storytelling. This isn't just mourning a public figure, it's mourning a private force of nature. And that's the irony, we remember people like Jean Lodge for their on-screen work, but their families remember them for the messy, mundane stuff, the dinner parties, the stubbornness, the way they told stories over holidays. It's a reminder that even icons are just people. Which feels almost radical in an era where we're obsessed with separating art from the artist. So what's the bigger pattern here? Families like the Shaughnessy's, or the Redgraves, the Fondas, the Barrymores, aren't anomalies. They're proof that entertainment is as much about inheritance as innovation. But here's my take, legacy only carries you so far. Charles and David had to earn their careers, just like anyone else. The name might open a door, but it doesn't keep you in the room. Jean Lodge's life proves that longevity in this business isn't about nepotism alone, it's about resilience, versatility, and maybe a little stubbornness. Which brings me to the closing thought, what do we lose when these older generations fade away? Not just their work, but their stories, their perspective on how the industry evolved. Jean Lodge lived through the golden age of Hollywood, the rise of TV soaps, and the digital revolution. Imagine the conversations around her dinner table. And now, her family has to carry that forward, not just in their careers, but in the way they remember her. So next time you see a soap opera drama or a period drama, ask yourself, who's the unsung person behind it? And what legacy are they quietly building?